to show these folks what a trike can do. Woo! Still got it. That's how you clear a muddy ditch, plain and simple. Welcome to Boomer Bongo Boulevard. I'm Mike, just Mike. This is Ron, just Ron, my brother. We talk about boomer stuff, things that boomers know about, things that boomers remember. Hey, and sometimes, Ron, we just work from pure old memory anyway. We don't look a lot up. Season 3, episode 8, overall number 98 and 2 shows. We'll be doing our 100th overall episode. And actually, we've got some other things, too, some shorts and things that we don't count that 100. So a lot of material. And one of these days, somebody's going to watch it, Ron. I just know they are.
I know.
Feel it.
Almost 100 shows that haven't edited a one of them.
No, we don't. We don't edit.
We don't edit, man.
We don't know how to
edit.
We don't know how to edit. We're talking today, though, about Evel Knievel. And if you've never looked up anything about Evel Knievel, just drop what you're doing now and go look up something about Evel Knievel, because Evel Knievel, there's you talk about one of a kind. Actually, he's multiples of kind. He was hurt so much. But anyway, Evel Knievel. Ron, how would you like to be Evel Knievel filling out his taxes? Tax, date is right around the corner. And the part where it says occupation, how would you like to be able to write Daredevil in there?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool? It'd be worth it just for that. Daredevil. I'm sure that's what he put on his taxes. Evel Knievel. What do you know about? You're the Evel Knievel fan. Fill us in.
Man, I tell you what. Yeah, I was an Evel Knievel fan. Needless to say, there's Evel right here, man. What's left of him? See his hands missing and everything. And of course, there's nothing left of the bike. Man, destroyed that mother. But I was one of those kids that was, man, Evel was the man for me. I mean, he was the dude. He was the man. That was like everybody's hero when I was growing up. I mean, we were out there jumping our bikes over, homemade ramps and stuff, catching maybe a foot and a half of air, and
just like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, destroying our crotch on the crossbar when we land,
Hey, Evel did that too. Oh, by the way, if anybody tuned in and they're going, wait a minute, now you never really told me who Evel Knievel is, and if there is somebody who doesn't know, and I'm probably a lot of people who don't know who Evel Knievel is, because it's been a while. He died in 2007, and his jumping career kind of died off in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, 1977 was his last attempted jump. He was going to, and I remember this very well, he was going to jump over some sharks, a shark tank, live on TV. And
with this motorcycle.
Yeah, and
it was a motorcycle jump.
It didn't come on, and I was so disappointed because, no jump came on, and they showed something else after they came on and said, well, Evel's not going to jump tonight. Come find out later on, he was warming up and he lost control of his bike, and he ended up running into a cameraman and really hurt him. And it really upset him, that happened, and then he just ended up not jumping anymore after that.
Yeah.
He just kind of hung it up,
Well, he was a motorcycle. They call it technically a ramp to ramp motorcycle jumper. He wasn't the first person to do it. Motorcycle riders had been jumping bodies of water and I think, livestock and things like that. And people have always jumped things, but Evel Knievel took it to a new level, and he started jumping vehicles and kept up with his records by how many vehicles he jumped. And then he changed vehicles. He went from cars to school buses, and he was just a unique individual, very creative. Ron, like a lot of people, listen to what Evel did to try to support his family over his lifetime. He sold insurance. Evel Knievel. So he was actually very good at it, supposedly. That's actually what changed his life. He was a rodeo rider. He worked in a copper mine. Did you read this copper mine story?
No, I didn't see the copper mine story.
Oh, listen, he got fired because he was doing wheelies with a bulldozer, and he hit a power line and killed all the power. And I think Butte, Montana, they fired him on the spot. He's doing wheelies with a bulldozer, or trying to.
Oh, my God.
I
didn't even know that was possible.
I don't think it is. I don't think it was. That's why he hit something. He was in the Army, which like a lot of people say, changed his life. He was a ski jumper, Ron, when he was in the Army, he was on the track team and was a pole vaulter, which
Wow.
I never knew. Played ice hockey, professional ice hockey, semi-pro.
Yeah.
He was a hunting guide. Ronald, he was an elk activist. He got interested in this law about elk harvesting, and he went all the way to Washington, D.C., and whatever he wanted done got done. He brought a mounted elk head with him. Heck, can you imagine getting on the plane? He rode motocross, and he says that his insurance job, which he quit, the guy who owned the insurance company was a well-known person. His last name was Stone, and this guy Stone had written a self-improvement book, and he recommended that Evel read that book, and the book was called Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. And there were quite a few books, on that level around by different people. But he read it and said the book changed his life, and eventually he began making a living as the motocross. Oh, by the way, he owned a Honda dealership for several years. But
now that I knew.
Yeah, and so give us your favorite thing or idea about Evel Knievel or whatever you want to say.
Well, he did so many things. It was like, of course, I loved playing with the toy. That thing was awesome. Still one of the greatest toys ever. But I was just looking up some of those stuff just to get the dates and everything. Of course, his most famous thing was a incredibly failed jump, which was jumping across the Snake River Canyon. Originally, he was going to jump across the Grand Canyon on a rocket motorcycle, and that kept changing to different things. And finally, he got permission. He ended up buying a portion of the Snake River Canyon so he could jump whatever he wanted because he owned it, and because they would never let him try to jump the Grand Canyon. And he ended up setting up like a rocket. He called it his Sky Cycle, and that was like, I think they did on pay-per-view or whatever. I saw it later on Wide World Sports, after we'd heard about what happened. But of course he crashed. He crashed into the wall. He kind of went up, and the chute went too soon. He came back, crashed in the wall, and they didn't really say until later. I found out later on that everybody just thought, oh, he just kind of got out because the way they showed it looked like they got him right out, but he almost died. He came real close to getting killed that day because he got. But they didn't let it be known at the time, but he got like kind of stuck in the vehicle, and they almost lost him.
Ron, we could have spent the entire show today just talking about his injuries.
Oh yeah,
he crashed all the time.
Yeah, well he got super famous from a crash.
Yeah.
The Caesar's Palace jump in Las Vegas. That was like his coming out party to the world and it was on film, and it was a incredible shot by, he had hired John Derrick, the director. Anybody knows who that is, but his wife's still alive, Bo Derrick. But back then his wife was Linda Evans, who was a TV star. And she was actually behind the camera and did the famous shot where he comes off the motorcycle and it's in slow motion, and he just folds up like a rag doll coming off that thing in slow motion. It's just excruciating to watch, but you can't take your eyes off of it.
At least once late in his career, I remember the injuries because he just seemed so terrible. He broke his arm, had a compound fracture on his arm. That means the bone sticks through the skin, and broke both legs.
Wow.
He almost every bone in his body broke at one point or another. But just the idea, you broke your leg once, and that's no fun.
Yeah. Well, I've actually broken it twice.
Yeah.
Same leg.
You're right. Hey, once it's broken, it's just never the same again, is it?
Yeah. Oh, I broke it across the bottom at the same time as I broke my ankle. So it broke that same leg again. But one of his more famous ones was where he broke his pelvis in a crash at Wembley Stadium in front of 90,000 people. That was on Wide World Sports. That was the famous one where he wanted to walk out. Man, walked out with broken pelvis. Good God.
That's crazy. I've got a riddle for you. I don't know if you know this or not. Can you give me the brand name of his favorite motorcycle, the one he used in most of his jumps?
I know it was a Harley.
It was, yeah. Harley
and it
Davidson.
was,
That's pretty good.
people jump with these light bikes now. This dude was jumping with like, that thing weighed like 5 times more than those jump bikes now.
They do
that thing
now,
was
but
heavy.
it was a light bike for the time, though.
Yeah.
It was a 1972 Harley Davidson XR 750, and the other bike that he used earlier in his career, the Caesar Palace jump, for example, was a Triumph Bonneville T120. And I thought, in case any motorcycle people ended up with this video in their feed, I needed to at least get that part in. But hey,
Yeah.
oddly enough, he felt like he lost his Honda dealership, his motorcycle dealership, because it was just very difficult to sell at that time Japanese made vehicles in the United States. There was still some leftover World War II resentment, that kind of thing. And I guess he learned his lesson and jumped those American made bikes when he was a famous daredevil jumper. Oh, Ron, I got a story I got to tell you, a little short one. I read it in a comment section when I was doing some research for this, but somebody wrote in their comment that they actually thought that as they were growing up, they'd read about Evel Knievel, got interested in him, read some stories about him, that kind of thing. And this person said that they actually thought that Evel Knievel was a legendary / mythological character who did not exist. And then when he died, the guy read it in the paper and he goes, "Oh my gosh, Evel Knievel's real?" He thought he was like Paul Bunyan. Just somebody made him. That's a lie.
Off like Paul Bunyan when he was alive, man.
Oh, that's a life right there. When there are people who think you're nothing but a myth, you're not even real, and then they read about your death and they go, "Oh, he's real." That's crazy. That can't be possible.
His pompadour was even unreal, man.
Oh, by the way, his son, Robbie Knievel, is a stunt jumper as well. Although Robbie needs to get a better first name. I mean, Robbie Knievel just does not have the zing that Evel Knievel does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now I saw this documentary about him where he was talking about, where he first got famous. Of course, he had to hustle and struggle, to get.
Oh, yeah.
And the way he worked up the Caesar's Palace jump, because he saw it and he knew he wanted to jump those fountains. And he said he was calling all the different casinos and he was literally doing some of the voices. He said he'd call up and go like, "Hey man, I heard about this guy, Evel Knievel or something like
Knievel?
that. It was like, and I heard he wants to jump them things. He was literally calling them up and doing different voices like, "Hello, I heard that,
Oh, I read about that. He also pretended to be from ABC News, and they wanted to cover it.
He did all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, he was.
You gotta love a guy that does that.
He got money out of them.
Oh, sure.
He was a hustler, man.
Oh man,
he was a hustler.
We should call people who pretend to be, I don't know, ABC and get some interviews that way. By the way, for those of you that are still listening and have occasionally watched some of our videos, our Monkey Men video hit 1,000 views during this past week, so that's by far our most successful.
Our first long form ever to go over 1,000. Our short forms have gone way over 1,000.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's been over 1,000 long time. Yeah. So we're kidding. I mean, people occasionally watch what we do. It's just,
and we got a few new people this week. I saw where we got, I think it was 5 new subscribers. So,
oh really? Yeah,
not bad.
Okay,
we get them in little spits and spurts, but we're at 128.
Oh, and by the way, subscribe. Anybody watching, go ahead and subscribe. We won't mind at all. We'd love to have a couple of extra subscribers. And
we encourage things like that.
Yeah, we do. We encourage watching us. It's not going to make your life better, but watch us anyway.
Here's a little bit of pop culture thrown in. I was talking earlier about how he was going to jump some live sharks. Okay,
oh yeah.
When that didn't go down, of course, I was inspired by Jaws. Because Jaws was huge.
And probably 70s. Fonzie, but
see, that's the thing. Happy Days decided to have Fonzie jump sharks because Evel didn't get to jump sharks. So they were like, well, we'll have Fonzie jump some sharks, which of course, the infamous TV shows Jumping the Shark, because Happy Days went like in quality after that.
Yep.
So that's the old colloquialism.
Jumping Sharks is, hey, one last thing, or at least one last thing on my part. And we don't have a song of the week because.
Oh, I absolutely have a song of the
Dude,
week.
what do you have? What do you got?
I have a two-sided song of the week. Okay. Released on the very 1st of January, 1974, leading up to the Snake River Canyon jump that year, was The Ballad of Evel Knievel by John Mahoney.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it rose to a sterling 105 in the country. Woo!
105 in the nation. I've never had a song go 105 in the nation. Have you ever had a song go 105 in the nation? I haven't.
No, I haven't.
So we can't.
And on the flip side was Evel Knievel himself reading his, because he sure couldn't sing, was reading his poem he wrote called Why, to answer everybody always asking why he did what he did. So
there was nothing else left. There was nothing else left to do. He'd done everything else. He'd been an insurance agent. He'd owned a motorcycle distributor.
But he could move a mountain, leap across a winding river.
Can you find that on?
Made his mind up. There's nothing he won't try.
Can you find that on YouTube? Is that on YouTube? Can you find it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean,
absolutely. The Ballad of Evel Knievel. You can find it. See, something else you can find. You can find his one and only movie, who had one hell of a cast, by the way.
Yeah,
I sent you some of the cast. It was Viva Knievel, because he's performing like down in Mexico or something. That's where it's set.
Who's it?
Yeah, it's got Gene Kelly, I think, in one of his final movies. Boy, Gene Kelly went down the toilet there, didn't he? Viva Knievel and then Xanadu, for the love of God.
I don't know. I'm not going to talk bad about Gene Kelly. I think he's a heck of a guy. Yeah. Who else was in it?
Let's see. Leslie
I thought you had a list.
Dabney Coleman. Lauren Hutton.
That's what impressed me was Lauren Hutton being in it, because she was she was just the woman of the day.
Yeah, she was kind of the hot girl at the moment.
Yeah, for real.
There's always some woman that's like blazing hot for 2 or 3 years and then gone.
Well, you get tired of people running into light poles as you walk down the sidewalk because they're watching you, and your husband gets tired of having to walk behind you.
Because I loved Evel Knievel. It's a terrible movie, but it's on YouTube in all its glory.
Evel Knievel. If you want to spend some time, folks, just entertaining yourself, just do some background reading on Evel Knievel. Look at the videos of some of his jumps, and I think you'll come away going, no wonder this guy got so freaking famous for a while there. He was a little more than a flash in the pan, but he was kind of a supernova, just burned real brightly for a while.
Yeah, and I tell you, if you've never seen him, like in an interview or just any kind of talking, a documentary, anything like that, he comes off like a really bad actor doing a really terrible character. But the funny thing is, he freaking means it.
That's him.
He means every word he says. He is sincere as all get out. Everything he's talking about.
You got to mean it to jump over school buses on a motorcycle. There's nowhere to hide when you're doing that. And with that, we call it a day, Ron. Evel Knievel on Boomer Bongo Boulevard.